And this is St Columb's Cathedral, and I thought it was a Catholic cathedral, so silly me. Built 1633 by the City of London, one of the first cathedrals to be built after the Protestant Reformation. It was quite plain, but has been added to significantly. The cathedral is a working church and contains a museum of artefacts with London. Churchyard are many interesting graveyards of merchants, soldiers, architects and tradespeople. In the corner is the Seige Heroes Mound, reputedly containing the remains of people killed during the Siege of Derry. There you are. High church wall behind you is, with its two small watchtowers at either end, was built to protect the cathedral from cannon fire. And there you go, that's why this bit of the wall is much higher. My goodness. My goodness. And there's the wee watchtower at the end. And there's the daily opening time. So we're going to see if we can get in here. Normally Catholic churches are open, but Protestant churches are closed. It's got quite an interesting entrance here, St Column's. Coat of arms. Quite a prestigious entrance. And this is the notice board of the church. And cathedral completed in 1633, saw action during the 1689 siege. And that's why they built the city walls higher along the wall to withstand cannon fire. And just beside me is one of the cannonballs fired at the city by the Jacobites, and you can read that for yourself. And here's the actual cannonball, and Bob tells me that this hole in the top is where they put the scroll note offering terms of surrender, and the forces inside the wall fired the cannonball back, apparently. There you go. Oh, it's a living history here. The cathedral has been restored at the cost of £4 million. Wow. And we're inside St Column's Church. Isn't this magnificent? Look at that roof. Boy, so. That's tick. And this, the church has, just as I was saying there, or reading, was refurbished quite recently, and it's open to the public. Now this organ up above here apparently isn't operational. But on Sunday mornings they use the organ. And look at all these kneelers in memory of different people and whatnot. I love those. Such a lot of history. This is beautiful. And there's a wee video running there to explain what everything is and all the rest of it. Under this stone lay buried William Hogg, Esquire, 1770, who died 1718, 1710, and it just goes on down there. The attention to detail here is amazing.
When the early settlers of the 17th century arrived in Derry on the heavy docker, the ancient cathedral dedicated to St. Columb was in ruins, thought to have been destroyed in an explosion in 1568. The reconstruction of the church and design reflected a desire to respect the history of the area, despite the radical impact of the future direction of the plantation city. The cathedral soon established itself as part of the walled city, positioned to see the 105 romantic days of the Siege of Derry in 1689. In which the columns of the Cathedral wall is remembered today both inside and outside the building. The first significant
Strong connection to the Siege of Derry. Read this for yourself. Beneath lay the bodies of two noblemen, noble-hearted men, Colonel Henry Baker, a governor of this city during the siege in 1689, a man greatly beloved and trusted, to whom the people of Derry turned their time to in their time of extremity. He died on June 1689 on the 74th day of the siege, and Michael Browning, captain of the siege, or the ship Mountjoy of this city, chosen to lead the relieving vessels. He was killed at the boom because they were breaking the boom and getting into the city by ship with provisions. There you go, and they're buried underneath where we're standing, these guys. See, there's those bones again on. See that? Yeah. That's a bit strange looking.
What are called mortuary symbols. This is our oldest plaque in the church. And those are what are called mortuary symbols.
Right.
Very popular back in the 1600s,
yes.
1700s.
Yes.
They're all signs of death.
Right.
Skull and crossbones.
Yes.
Coffin. Spades for digging graves. Angels with the tongues of fire, which came when people died from
Yes.
the Old Testament.
Right.
Hourglasses lying on their side
Right.
to show that there's no life going through.
Right.
So every one of those is signs of death, and they're called mortuary symbols.
Brilliant.
You get into our graveyard,
Yes.
you'll find a grave with a skull and crossbones on it, or an hourglass lying on it.
Right.
In the graveyard, you'll see that on the graves as well.
Right.
But this is a complete
Plaque.
this is a complete assembly of mortuary symbols, and we had a man in here in the church who does a survey on these, and is interested in them, does a history of them, and he said this is only the second place that he's found a full set.
Full set.
You can find a skull and a crossbones
Yes.
and maybe the hourglasses, but not a full set. The only other places was a church in the Orkney Islands.
Wow.
Was the only other church that he's found a complete assemble of them.
Why so? Here, thanks very much. And your first name is?
Billy.
Billy. Thanks very much, Billy. And this whole plaque dates from what, 1670?
Can you see it up there?
So I think it's 1675.
No, it must be, it's 1633, is it?
1633.
That's our oldest. We have one up at the very top under, at the
Right.
top, 1667, and that's the second oldest. So
Right.
this is the
This is
oldest.
1633.
Aye.
It's John who?
John Elvin,
Elvin.
who died in 1678
Right.
at the age of 102,
Right.
which is big living in those days.
Oh, absolutely. Sure,
He
people
was-
died
there
young.
was died young in those days. There was a man called Tompkins, and he died. And when he died, John Elvin married his wife. So Tompkins is on that, John Elvin's on that.
Right.
Just those two. His wife's not on it.
Right.
He was married twice, actually.
Look at those. Isn't that
Those are
amazing?
symbols as well.
Yes.
Same as the ones down there.
That's. Why so?
That's our second oldest.
Right.
And that's the two coat of arms, Tompkins and Elvin.
This must be one of the oldest churches in the city.
This is the oldest building in the city, never mind church.
Oh, right. Good
This is the
man.
oldest building in the
Right,
church.
right.
Still used for what it was built for.
Why so? Why
It
so?
was built as a church in started building the church in 1628 and they finished in 1633.
Right.
So it only took 5 years to build this church now, when you
Right.
think about it.
And
We did a restoration on the church, we cleaned it all. You might see how clean it looks outside.
yes, it was
And
lovely.
These pillars were black, they're all clean.
Right.
It cost £4 million to clean it.
4 million. I thought it was 2.
No, 4 million.
And this is is that what kind of stone is that? Is that
Sandstone.
sandstone?
That's sandstone. The walls are sandstone and that's sandstone.
Right.
The pillars and the walls will be the oldest part of the church.
Right.
The floors 1861 and the pews are 1861.
Right.
We had a wooden floor before that, and we had an old sort of box pew with a gate,
Yes.
old-fashioned type of pew, until we got these in 1861.
Just look at the detail that is going in.
They're all brilliant.
All.
brilliant.
How many of these are there?
214.
And there's not a one that is the same.
No, there's not two the same. They're all completely different.
Wow. Works of art. Works of art. Such beauty.
That's our font for baptising the babies on. The flowers are just there for harvest Thanksgiving.
Yes. Yes.
But that's our font for the roof.
This is the siege window here, commemorating the siege of Derry. Just picked this amazing fact up from Billy inside there, that John Newton, the slave ship owner, who wrote later on Amazing Grace, he was shipwrecked. His ship was called the Greyhound, and he was shipped off the coast of Donegal, and he came to St. Columb's. What's it? Where are we? St. Columb's Cathedral. St. Columb's Cathedral here, and while there, he renounced his slavery, and he wouldn't practice slavery anymore. And it was at this church that he had this conversion experience in the late 1700s. Mrs. Cecil Frances Alexander, and she was the bishop's wife of this church, and she wrote All Things Bright and Beautiful. And what else is your?
Royal David City.
Once in Royal David City,
Green Hill far
and there
away.
is a green hill far away,
The golden gates are lifted up.
and the golden gates are lifted up. So strong historical connections and Christian connections with this church.